Welcome to this video, guys. Today I'm talking about a beautiful poem by Vishnu Singh Rai. So I believe you will enjoy listening to me for about 10 minutes. Okay, let's get going. So the title of the poem is Corona Says, and the poet is Vishnu Singh Rai, right? So you can see a beautiful pictorial illustration of a variant of COVID-19. So it's a kind of, let's say, microscopic picture, right? So I believe you are very conversant, very familiar with this kind of picture. So the poem is been composed in the context of COVID-19 pandemic, right, in the world. So before we begin, right, here is a question to answer. So guys, what's the meaning of pandemic, right? So put simply, a pandemic is a disease that spreads to that transmits to many people and many different places, right, at the same time, right? It can cross the geographical boundaries, right, or it can cross the hierarchy, either rich people or poor people, right? Anyone can get afflicted with this kind of, let's say, disease. So it is different from epidemic. Okay, epidemic is the more limited, and it happens to, or let's say it afflicts people of certain territory or maybe a village, or okay, so limited area. But whereas pandemic crosses the borders, it crosses the social and cultural hierarchy, and anyone can get afflicted with this kind of this disease, right? I believe COVID-19 so is a pandemic. Everybody, I think you understand it very well, right? So do you think that human behavior is responsible for the pandemic? Definitely. So when this question comes, we got to blame our behavior, right? Our attitude towards nature. So because people have exploited nature and they have caused imbalance in the ecosystem, and as a result, we are having the byproduct like, let's say, COVID-19. Okay, so this is the context, guys. Please catch up with my details. I will be using a little bit Nepali. I will be switching to Nepali. Okay, so I believe it will be very simple for you to understand. Listen to me until about the end. Okay, so let's get going. All right. So about the poet, Vishnu Singh Rai was born in 1951. So, and he taught English at Tribhuvan University for 3 decades and retired as professor of English language education. Right. So Rai writes both in English and Nepali, and he is known as a poet of human emotions. Right. So moving ahead. The poem Corona Seeds has been written on the theme of the present world crisis, Corona, and its devastating impact on human life. Okay, so devastating impact here is damaging or crippling impacts, right? So everybody is familiar with the impacts of negative impacts or devastating impacts of COVID-19, right? So guys, the main idea here, the poem can be taken as a very strong satire, Bengia, right? It's a very strong satire on man's conduct and attitude towards nature. So let me switch to Nepali. यो कविता सिम्पली राइट मानवले प्रकृतिप्रति गरेको दुर्व्यवहार, राइट, खराब आचरण, खराब प्रवृत्ति र प्रकृतिलाई गरेको एक्सप्लोइटेसन, राइट, मिसयुज अफ नेचुरल रिसोर्सेस, राइट, त्यसप्रति यस कविताले व्यङ्ग्य गर्दछ. All right, so I believe you understand it. It views COVID-19 as the byproduct of man's treatment to nature, right? So the poem speaks for maintaining a balance in the ecosystem. Definitely, it speaks for means it supports. The poem advocates, right, that we got to maintain a balance in this ecosystem. Every species of life in this ecosystem is equally important, right? Guys, if we think of our existence, right, our well-being, right, we have to think of the existence of other thousands of species of plants and animals. Unless they exist here in this world, we cannot exist. If we kill them, in the long run, we are digging our own grave. This kind of idea has been beautifully imparted by the poet in this poem. All right, therefore, guys, the poem can be interpreted from environmental perspective, स्विचिङ टु नेपाली, यो कवितालाई हामी वातावरणीय दृष्टिकोणबाट पनि व्याख्या गर्न सक्छौँ, राइट? सो वातावरण किन भन्दा कि कोभिड-19 इज द बाई प्रडक्ट अफ ह्युमन बिङ्स एक्सप्लोइटेसन अफ द नेचर, राइट? हामीले वातावरणमा निम्त्याएको, प्रकृति विनाश गरेर निम्त्याएका विभिन्न खालका समस्याहरूको कारणले कोभिड-19 जस्तो पेन्डेमिक भोग्नु परेको छ, right? Vishnu Singh Rai says this thing. Okay, so I believe I'm trying my best to simplify the matter for large number of students, right? So I want you to understand my ideas. Okay, so moving ahead, guys, look at the poem, right? I wanna read it simply. Okay. Stop crying, oh man, stop cursing me and listen. I did not come here of my own free will. In the first stanza of the poem, Corona says, since it is personified, the poet has treated Corona as a human being. Okay, Corona speaks the human language and tells the human being, so not to cry and not to curse him, right? श्राप गर्नु, गाली गर्नु, right? Oh, मान्छे हो, so मलाई मनुष्य हो, मलाई गाली नगर, right? Corona says, because according to Corona, so he did not come. I'm using the pronoun he, right? Because Corona has been personified, treated as human being. He did not come to the earth, right, of its own will, of his own will, right? So he did not have any intention of coming and giving trouble to the mankind. Then why did he come? Look at the second stanza. I was invited. Means, look at the passive voice, right? We invited. We human beings invited Corona. Believe me, I had no choice but to visit you. So Corona did not have any choice, means Corona was compelled. Okay? Now, so, but to visit you, how many lives were lost because of me, you count. But have you ever counted how many have died so far because of you and your wars? So Corona counter questions human beings. So you keep counting the number of people who have lost their life because of me, right? So do you remember that kind of situation a few years ago that we would be watching on television screen? So today this many people have died. Today another number of people. So this number of people have died. So I think, guys, that time we were very busy counting the number of people dying due to Corona. So Corona says the same thing, right? You are very busy counting this thing, but have you ever counted the number of people that were killed because of your wars? No. Means that according to Corona, we people have not taken wars seriously. If we had taken war seriously, after the First World War, there wouldn't have been another Second World War, right? So there wouldn't have been any war, any conflict in Iran or in Afghanistan or in Libya or in Israel or in Palestine. So still many people are being killed, but we do not pay much attention. So it is a kind of a ridiculous thing. So why we just pay more attention and so go on cursing Corona, right? So when we kill people, human beings kill human beings, we do not take it that seriously. But when a virus comes because of human beings ill treatment to the nature, so why are we only simply showing so much concern, right? So guys, I think you have understood the matter here what Corona says in the poem. Okay, moving ahead, look at the next stanza of the poem. You call yourself the crown of creation. It means, according to Corona, human beings regard themselves the most intelligent beings. What about the others? Those who fly in the sky, those who live in the ocean, those who crawl on the earth, and those the sources of your oxygen. So here it is very clear, guys. Now those who fly in the sky are the birds, and those who live in the ocean are the aquatic animals, right? And those who crawl on the earth are the reptiles, like amphibians, let's say reptiles, alligators, right? These like animals, right? And similarly, sources of oxygen are the plants. So how we treat them? We just kill them. Anytime we cut them down, we cut down the trees, right? We kill the animals as though they are our slaves, right? You think they all are your slaves who you can sell or kill at your will. So, guys, all these are important parts of our ecosystem, but we human beings, so called intelligent beings, are so stupid that we are killing them. We are just exploiting them as though their existence doesn't have any meaning here. And as a result, that means consequently, we are facing the viruses like corona. Clear? Now, don't blame me, I just wanted to show you how clean the blue sky looks without dust and smoke. Guys, here Corona says that there are a few more benefits, right? Actually, the air has become cleaner after the arrival of Corona. Since Corona has come, like people have been locked up inside their house and they are no longer getting to their work in factories and industries, no mobility of vehicles in the road, so the air has become cleaner, right? There is little dust or less dust in the air, and so the sky looks very bright and beautiful, right? So without dust and smoke. And I wanted to realize how caged animals feel in a zoo. Guys, when we were locked up inside our houses, at that time we realized the pain. I think most people who were afflicted with corona, they got a kind of depression, some kind of frustration, is sitting inside the house those 3 months 4 months time not getting out, so that time how difficult time it was. So we realized how difficult it is for the animals who are put in the zoo just for our entertainment. Actually, that is the time we realized, right? It is very difficult for animals to stay inside the zoo, because a zoo is not their natural habitat. Okay, so we are locking them up just for our entertainment. So is it a right thing to do for the human beings? Of course not. Corona here raises a question. Clear? I came not to give you a taste, I came so that Mother Earth would have a little rest. It's very simple. Corona says that he did not have any intention to give us the hard time, very difficult time, right? So he did not like us to cry, burst out into tears, lose our near and dear ones. Actually, Corona had an intention to give Mother Nature a little rest. So that people stopped their work, stopped mining and digging out the earth and exploiting things, right? Natural resources that got halted at least for a few months, so that Mother Nature in a way got a rest for a short while. So that was his intention, Corona says in this stanza of the poem. Okay guys, moving ahead, I don't take that much time. Clear? Look at the last part of the poem. You claim that you know everything, I just wanted you to know yourself. The earth is not your property alone, it is as much ours as yours. The matter is very simple. Corona says that the earth does not completely belong to human beings, right? As it belongs to human beings, it also belongs to many other species of birds, animals, reptiles, and other living organisms, including the plants. Clear? So, it is a vanity, it is a stupidity of human beings to claim themselves superior and to exploit the other species of life in the earth. If they go on exploiting, like, oh, people, if you do like this, now you will get very, very nasty blows as I'm giving you right now. Corona gives a warning in this part of the poem, guys. Okay? I believe you are catching up. Sure, I will depart one day, but remember there are many others like me, they will come too. Right? Corona says he will live one day. To depart means janu, छोडेर janu, कहीं janu. I will go away one day, right? But there are many other viruses like me, they will come. They will come back, right? If you do not get rid of your inflated ego. When our ego is inflated, we are very proud, we are very arrogant, we think that we are the most intelligent beings, so we do not become submissive. Then if we keep on having this inflated ego, so definitely we are going to have a bleak future, a dark future, right? We will get back to our primitive time long, long ago. So yeah, that's what happens. Like if many people die all of sudden, then what happens? All these like human civilization so gets over, right? So we have to get back to that primitive time, probably of our ancestors, that stone age. So at the end of the poem, Corona gives a warning to human being, guys. Oh, please get rid of, like, you quit your ego, your arrogance, right? Your vanity, your stupidity. Otherwise, right? Otherwise, so you will have a very dark future. This kind of warning Corona gives at the end of the poem, and the poem gets over. So, guys, this poem can be interpreted from environmental perspective. So, it is all about saving our environment, all right, not exploiting the natural resources so that we do not face any kind of pandemic like Corona or COVID-19. So, all in all, I believe I have clarified the important details of this poem. I believe the poem is very lucid, very simple for you to catch up. Here are some questions for you to answer. Who is the speaker in the poem? Of course, Corona is the speaker in the poem, right? But guys, you have to answer the third questions in two paragraphs. I've been telling you, right? So first paragraph is introduction. The second paragraph is the main answer. Suppose you have to answer this question, you can simply begin, right? The poem Corona says has been composed by a famous Nepali poet and writer Vishnu Singh Rai. In this poem, the poet views COVID-19 as a byproduct of human beings' misconduct to nature. Right? So, introduction. Then, after answer this question, so the poet has personified Corona, right? So, and Corona addresses the human beings not to cry and not to curse him. So the very first few lines of the poem clarifies that it is Corona who speaks or addresses the readers. So we can say that the speaker in the poem is none other than Corona or COVID-19. So see the technique, you got to do little bit buffering, bring some context guys, okay. So guys, धेरै यसैमा छ कि हजुरले बुझ्नु पऱ्यो कसरी आन्सर गर्ने, कसरी 75 वर्ड्स लेख्ने, ओके। हामी धेरै पनि लेख्नु हुँदैन, ठिक्क लेख्नु पर्यो, introduction and main answer, यसरी आन्सर गर्नु होला. I believe everybody has understood me. Today I just switched little bit to Nepali. I believe you understand, right? So who claim that they are superior to all, right? Is the human beings who claim that they are superior to all, superior to, right? So look at this, like they think that they are the most intelligent being of all, right? Is we human beings who claim superior to all, right? Please write the other details by yourself. Why has the speaker come to the earth? The speaker has come to the earth to teach us a very important lesson, as well as to give mother nature a little bit rest, okay. What positive changes have occurred on earth after the speaker's visit? So I already clarified this thing. Please answer this question. And reference to the context, try your best to write, okay, these lines have been extracted from the poem Corona Says by Vishnu Singh Rai. In these few lines, the poet says that, then you continue, okay. So I believe you can answer this question. What human behaviors are responsible for the suffering in people's life? So how does an epidemic differ from pandemic? Please try your best to answer these questions, okay. I believe I have already clarified these like matters. So thank you very much. Keep following me and subscribe my channel for further exercises and interpretation. Bye bye.